Hey everyone, my name is Mars, like the planet, and this is Housewarming. Me and my partner have just purchased our very first home, so if you're interested in design, homemaking, and figuring it all out, make sure you subscribe. Today is a super quiet, dreary day, and I'm just staying inside. So I figured, why not bring you around and show you all of the houseplants I have in my care right now at the end of the summer. If you're interested in seeing my previous houseplant videos, these tours are super popular with you guys and you seem to love them. I will link all of them down below. So I'm at the front of my house, so I will go through each and every room, tell you what plants I have, tell you their names, and tell you about them. So let's get started. So starting at my front door, I am walking into my kitchen where I have this beautiful ledge of all of these propagations. Now these propagations are some of my favorites. I have a whole video about propagations that I will link down below and in the cards, but I especially like them because all of the jars that I have definitely tell a story. I have different jars from all over the place. Like one of them is from Pensacola, one of them is from Dallas, one of them is from Houston. So it kind of is like a little bit of a keepsake for me, and I get to fill it with water and then stick a cutting in it and watch the roots grow. So starting from left to right in here, I have a pothos cutting. You can see all of the roots growing down in here, and some are further along than others, but this one has been in here quite a long time. Next, I have another pothos cutting and another pothos cutting. I like this brown amber bottle. This was actually a root beer bottle. You can still see the Abita logo right here. These are some actual scallions that we got. If you did not know, green onions, scallions, chives, all of those can be regrown in water. If you just pop them in, they will regrow and you can continue to cut from them. Then I have another cutting of a silver pothos. This one I just put in. You can see there are no roots at all, but I love how long and slender this bottle is. I have another green onion cutting. This was actually an apple juice jar. And then this is another pothos right here. And then this is a cutting that I just put in of our Cebu blue pothos in this Trinity cider glass. There was actually cider in this, and I just so happened to take it home with me. This is a wine bottle that I filled up with water, and this is another Cebu blue pothos cutting. So you can tell that you can use a variety of shapes, sizes, glasses, and things like that. And I just like having a clear jar just because you can see the water inside of it. Once again, if you are interested in propagating, make sure you check out the video below where I go into more detail. But now that we're leaving the kitchen, let's go into the living room. So this is actually a west facing window, but now that we're walking into the living room, I have two north facing windows as well as an east facing window. So let me give you a general overview of our living room, and let's start with this plant right here. Right here next to this north facing window, I have a trio of peace lilies. I will show you the other two later on in the tour, but I actually got these from my grandmother's funeral. So it was really important for me to keep them. Peace lilies are absolutely wonderful plants because they are so sturdy. They definitely are super easy to take care of. They are super low light plants. They have these beautiful dark emerald green leaves, and they have these beautiful flowers that come off of them. They're also very, very vocal. They definitely show you when they need water. They will droop down, and the second that you give them water, they will pop right back up. So this one is quite large, and like I said, I love how big the leaves are. I love the texture on them, and I definitely need to probably dust them in the future because you can kind of see a little bit of dust on them, but I want to keep them super shiny. Next over here, I have my scindapsus, and I absolutely love the color on these. It is a relative of the pothos plant. It loves to trail down and vine down. You can see all of the vines right here. I have another one right here. I just recently cut off of this one to put in my propagation jar, but I love the color on this. I love how striking this silvery bluish greenish color. If you are interested in learning more about pothos or scindapsus, I have an entire video dedicated to just pothos videos that I will link down below. But this one is super easy. It is in a north facing window, and it does not need to be watered often. I actually just put this propagation that had rooted up in here, so I'm just making sure I keep this water. But this is one of my favorites. It sits right here next to our sofa. Over here next to the TV, I have a snake plant, which is one of the most popular house plants. This girl is just chilling here. I actually got her at Walmart. If you are not familiar with snake plants, they are super, super easy to take care of. Almost all of the plants in my care are easy to take care of because I do not like fussy plants. I don't want to have to baby a plant. If it is not working for me in my household, it is either died or I just don't buy it. So snake plants are super tough plants. They do not need to be watered often. I do not water this plant often at all, and it is still looking very beautiful. It is also called a sansevieria, or a mother-in-law's tongue, but I love the variegation on the leaves with this lime green, then dark green, then lime green again. You can also propagate snake plants. You can just cut right at the top of the leaves, stick them in some water, and roots will grow. Moving on our TV, we have this absolute beauty. This is my Cebu blue pothos. Let me back up a little bit. Look how gorgeous she is. She is absolutely just trailing down. I actually found this at Walmart as well. And it was honestly just about right here when I bought it. And it has just taken off. It has grown like a weed. It is another type of pothos. And once again, it has these blue, silvery leaves. Look how long and slender they are. They are just vining out all over the place. This is another one, once again, that I just water it when it starts to droop down, when it starts to wilt, and then it pops right back up. This is another super easy one. If you're not looking just for your standard regular pothos, try to get a Cebu pothos because they are just wonderful. Next, in our east facing window, I have the queen of all queens, the Monstera deliciosa. I found this one at Home Depot, and I just have her on this stool right here in front of this window so she can get all of the light. But you can see that it has these fenestrations in the leaves, or these holes in the leaves. You can see I have a beautiful new leaf coming out right here. But I actually bought this one pretty mature at Home Depot. It was about $20, and I just could not pass her up. I could not leave her, but I love the size of the leaves. They have even a new leaf right here. I didn't even notice this one. Look, I have 2 new leaves coming out. Beautiful. But once again, this one is pretty easy for me as well. As the plant does start to get bigger, I will decide to stake it up so it has something to climb to. Monsteras are known to be climbers. They like attaching to plants in the wild. They like attaching to the trunks of plants and growing up them. So it's definitely going to need some type of sturdy base to hold onto. But this is another one of my favorites just because it is so big. I'm actually considering getting another one. This one does not need a lot of water. I just make sure to water it probably every 2 weeks. Moving on down here, these are 2 rubber plants. Let me squeeze in. And these are kind of not my favorite just because they take so long to produce a new leaf. This is a variegated rubber plant you can see right here, and it has not produced a new leaf for me in a while. Back here, this is my burgundy rubber plant. I like her a little bit more because she just sent out this leaf for me, but they are still really small. I've had these for almost over a year now, and they're still this small size. So I don't know, I just have them chilling in this east facing window. I water them every so often, but I don't know, I'm kind of over it. I don't know, like I said, I like plants to show me when they're happy, and this one has just kind of been chilling. I'm not really sure. So I might just kind of let it die. I'm really not interested in keeping it going just because it is so small. I have a larger rubber plant upstairs that I absolutely love. So I think I might just kind of let these fade away, and then I may get a bigger rubber tree in the future. Moving on, next to the fireplace, I have my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma that I got at a produce stand. This is again another one of my favorite plants. These were super sought after for a while, but I got my hands on one for just $10. I ended up cutting off the top and propagating it, and I actually let the propagation grow roots. And you can see I stuck it in here at the bottom, so I'm just keeping that wet just so it doesn't die out. This is another plant that is super easy to grow for me. I keep it in this north facing window, and it still has light from the east facing window over here. But this one I have staked up on a random piece of wood that I found. Once again, it was super happy in this location because it was always producing leaves. When I first got it, there was maybe 2 or 3 leaves on it, and now it is just completely shot up. Right behind my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, hiding in the shadows, is Miss Diva herself, the alocasia poly. If you are not new to my channel, you know my struggle with this plant. Alocasias are spider mite magnets. They always have spider mites on them, so I'm actually shocked that this one is clean right now. But last year, this one had 7 leaves on it. And I was so happy and I was so excited. And then she decided to go dormant. This is a plant that goes dormant in the winter time, and it drops all of its leaves except for maybe 1 or 2. And right now it only has 2 on it, but I just let her go. She's the only diva that I keep in my house. And the only reason why I keep it is honestly because my partner gave it to me as a birthday gift. So I feel obligated to keep it at this point. But if you do not know, alocasia polys or African mass plants are super, super beautiful plants, but be warned, they need a lot of care at the beginning to adjust to their surroundings. They also need a lot of water that I've seen, but this one is kind of adapted a little bit, so she's not as finicky anymore. But like I said, they do go dormant in the winter. So if you are seeing that your plant is dropping leaves in the winter time, do not be afraid. Just know it's going dormant and will come back sooner or later. But this one I do not really recommend at all. But, you know, she's a diva, so she can stay in her little corner. Up top on my fireplace, I have my one of many philodendrons. This is a standard philodendron, heartleaf philodendron that I have up here potted up. I really like the easy, beautiful heart-shaped leaves. This plant is super easy to take care of. If you find yourself doing well with a pothos plant, a philodendron will do super easy for you. These do look very similar to pothos plants, but the leaves are way thinner and they are also more heart-shaped as well. But this one is another super easy plant. She doesn't fuss at all. Whenever she gets droopy or a little bit, I actually don't even water her that much, but whenever she does start to wilt, that's when I decide to give her a little bit more water. But this is my east facing window right here, and then the north facing window over there. So also I want to show you a little sneak peek of upstairs. I have this beautiful planter box that came with the house, and I absolutely knew the first thing I was going to do was to put plants up here. You can see that my living room is down here. And so the second that you look up, look at that. So I have all of these different types of pothos up at the top. So once we get upstairs, I will definitely go over each and every one of these, but look how happy they are just trailing down. This is exactly what I wanted. So let's go into the first bedroom. So a little honorable mention, this is not a house plant, but I do love also having fresh flowers in my house. These are a little past their prime, but anytime you are in Walmart, they sell bouquets of flowers for just $5. So if you need a little freshness in your life, I do consider picking up a bouquet of flowers. They are super cheap and they last super long. We've had these carnations for maybe 3 weeks or so, and they're just starting to peter out. Okay, let's go to the bedroom. Okay, so leaving the living room and going into the bedroom, this is another east-facing window. I only have a shelf in here as well as a couple of plants. So let's turn you around so you can see. So as you can see, this is our big, huge east-facing. Okay. So let me give you a little overview first. So starting off over here, this is a little lamp that we got at Target, but you know I had to style it with some plants. This is the second of our heartleaf philodendrons. I also have another heartleaf philodendron up here. I just put a hook in the ceiling and let it trail down. It's really loving being in front of this window, but this is the third of our heartleaf philodendrons. I will also keep on the heartleaf philodendron trail and move on to this shelf that I've had for quite some time now, and we have our third heartleaf philodendron. She is nice and tiny and cute. But moving on to the star of the show, this is my fiddle leaf fig. Now, I have heard horror stories about fiddle leaf figs. I'm honestly scared to move it. I have heard that when you find a spot for a fiddle leaf fig that it loves, do not move it at all because it will go into shock. So I have not moved it. So this plant will probably stay here until I am confident enough to move it anywhere else. But this plant has absolutely taken off during the summer and the springtime. It is always putting out new leaves. I always make sure I clean it because I do not want any type of bugs or mealy bugs or anything like that on this plant. So I'm always cleaning off the leaves because I'm super protective over it. I just don't want to kill it because I've always heard of people having fiddle leaf figs and they're not doing well. So honestly, what I do is probably once a week, I give it a little bit of water and then I rotate it to make sure that it is not ever leaning towards the window. I make sure that whatever the leaning side is, I turn it the opposite way so it can continue to straighten back up. This one is honestly doing well. It has grown probably a foot or so since April of this year. So moving on to my shelf, I have this trio of plants right here. This is a Pearls and Joy Pothos. I believe it's Pearls and Joy or it's Pearls and Jade. I'm not sure. I'll put the correct one on the screen. But this is a Pearls and Joy Pothos. This is a cutting of a Monstera Adansonii. I just recently potted this one in here. I had the propagations on my windowsill and now I have them right here. So I will continue to keep this one moist. This is a first of my many pothos plants. This is another cutting that I put in probably a year or so ago, and you can see how long it is. It honestly needs a little bit of a trim, but these are cuttings that I just put into these planters right here. I got these planters from Walmart, I think, but I like the black color because it also is super thick, so it keeps the moisture inside. Moving up here, this is a birthday present that I got in April. This is a Calathea Warscewiczii. I can't really pronounce the name, but I will put it on the screen. But this is a super velvety type of Calathea. If you are unfamiliar with Calatheas, I would be warned that they are prayer plants, so they need a lot of humidity. They need a lot of special care. You can see that when they are not happy, they start to get these brown tips on the leaves. So I'm trying my best to keep this one alive. I normally stray far away from Calatheas or prayer plants or things like that. So let me just give her a little bit of a turn. You can see that she has a new leaf coming out right here. This is the second leaf that she's produced for me, so I'm assuming that she's happy. You can see she has a little bit of damage in the back, but that is also standard because we do not have greenhouse conditions in this house. And I have tried to give her a little bit of extra moisture, but I'm trying my best. And she seems to be a little happy because she's producing a new leaf. But so far so good. I will continue to keep you updated. Once again, up here, I have a trio of pothos cuttings. This is actually a candle holder that I found at Goodwill, and I just thought it was the perfect size to put some little pots in. But these are just cuttings that I've propagated throughout the years, and I keep them up here. I think it's really cute, super easy. These little terracotta pots I got for like 99 cents somewhere at Walmart, but these are the few of many pothos cuttings that I have. So those are all of the plants that I have downstairs. So let's go upstairs to see the rest of the plants. So as I am going upstairs, I want to show you the second of my peace lilies. This one is just sitting on the landing of our stairs. You can see the beautiful flowers that they produce. Once again, they're super easy. So I just stuck it in this little corner and she is super happy. Okay, so let's keep going upstairs, and you can already see behind me the third of our peace lily, so I will just stop over there. So this is the third peace lily that I have. You can see exactly what I was talking about, how vocal they are. You can see how drooped down and wilted this one is. So that just means that it needs water and it will perk right back up. So right above the peace lily, I have the 20 millionth pothos that I own, but it feels like 20 million, honestly. But anyway, so I have this one that I honestly just stuck up on the wall. I thought it needed something. It felt a little blank. So this is something that you can do if you do not have ceilings that you can hang your plants from. Think about hanging them from the wall. This is another pothos that I just picked up from Walmart, and it is sitting in this macrame hanger that I stuck on the wall with just a nail. So moving on, I am going to show you the pièce de résistance, the best part about the house, which is the planter box that I have. Once again, like I said, this planter box was here when we moved in, and I knew that I had to fill it up with plants. So these are two north-facing windows right here. So I'm just gonna go down the line and show you exactly what I have. So starting off, I have the Monstera Adansonii. I actually had this one downstairs, but I moved it up here to let it trail down. I took a couple cuttings from it, and that is what I propagated and then planted in the bedroom downstairs. This is a butterfly plant, arrowhead plant, or syngonium. This one is going to start to trail down anytime now, but I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. You can see that it's starting to reach the edge. I just think that I'm not giving it the best care that it needs. It has a lot of dead leaves, but it's also already always producing leaves. So I don't know, she's not very finicky, so I just let her stay, but you can see that it's starting to trail down right here. Next, I have the one of 20,000 pothos that I own. This was one of my grandmother's, so it's really special to me. It is definitely starting to curl down. You can see how long the leaves are. Ooh, I'm still going. You can see how long the leaves are and the vines are. I love when they start to trail down like that. This is another pothos. Once again, just trailing down. And pothos are super easy to know when they need water because they will just start to droop. I pull these out, I stick them in the tub, and they are perfectly fine. This is another pothos, but this is a marble queen pothos. I love the variegation on these leaves. This one is starting to trail down as well. It is nice and full. This one might need a little bit more sunlight because it is so white in the variegation, so it can get started trailing down. But once it has enough energy to start going, it will not stop. Next, I have 1, 2, 3 more pothos, and this one is the one that is super long. You can see how far down it goes. Honestly, I do not know what happened. It just started growing like a weed one day, so I just let her go. But these two are babies that I got from Walmart just to fill in. And then over here I have a lemon lime pothos. This one needs water. Obviously you can tell how wilted and sunken down it is and drooped down it is, so I will give it a little bit of water after I finish filming this video. But this one is also very full, trailing down as well. I've kind of considered bringing that Cebu pothos and moving up here to trail down, but I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Should I move this plant up here or just leave it next to our TV? So moving from our loft, you can see that the planter box is behind me, but we are moving into our bedroom, which is the last room on this tour. So let me show you exactly what we have in here. So this is an east facing window. And once again, like I mentioned before, this is our huge rubber queen. No. This is our gigantic rubber tree that we have that I actually got from the farmer's market. You can see at some point it was growing pretty large, and I think they cut off the top of it. You can see this like big stump right here that they cut off, but I'm not sure. I hope somebody's taking care of the other half. But anyways, it has super huge, super big roots, and this is kind of what I am looking for, not the little puny thing that we had downstairs. No hate to her, but I'm more looking for something this size. So I just have it on this pedestal that I got from Goodwill, and she's super happy in this bright indirect light. These plants can tell you when they need water. Once again, you can see how curled up the leaves are versus how flat they should be. So you can see, obviously this was filmed right before I needed to water all of my plants. But I do think it's important just to show you when plants need water, when they're telling you, hey, I need a drink, they start to curl up just like this. On the shelf, I have a Philodendron Brazil. This is one of my favorite types of philodendron. I love the variegation in the leaves, the lime green, the cream colored green. I just love how beautiful these leaves are. This one is really hard for me to keep alive. I've had multiple Philodendron Brazils, and they always end up getting thrips. I don't know what it is. My other philodendrons do not get thrips. I don't know what it is about these, but they always end up getting bugs on them, and I have to end up tossing them in the trash. But this one seems to be going pretty good, knock on wood, but I always check the leaves to make sure that there are no bugs on them. Once again, just like any other philodendron, they are super easy to take care of. They're super vocal when they need water. I don't water them very often, and it is definitely getting enough light in this east facing window. The last two plants that I have are on this shelf right here. This is a cutting of the lemon lime pothos that I had out there. The bigger one was out in the planter boxes. So these are just a bunch of cuttings that I stuck in together. And then up here, this is my newest plant. I will take it down right quick. This is a few cuttings of a marble queen pothos. The mother plant is outside in the planter box as well. And I just could not get enough of this variegation. So I stuck it into some soil, and I continue to keep that moist. You can see how dark the soil is. That means that it is perfectly watered and does not need any. So that is the last plant on our tour. Oh, let me not forget. Like I mentioned before, you can take cuttings of snake plants and you can put them in water. So these are a couple of cuttings of snake plants that I have. I took them from downstairs and put them in water, and you can see they are just chilling. So soon they will start to grow roots. They take very long to grow roots, but I do think they're a nice accent. So those are all of the plants in my care. Like I said before, I always keep plants that are super easy to take care of and super low maintenance. So if you're interested in any of the plants I mentioned, I will have their scientific names down below so you can easily find them online or in the supermarket the next time that you are looking. I always find plants in Home Depot, in Lowe's, in Walmart, at the farmer's market. You do not have to spend an arm and a leg to have houseplants. If you're interested in learning more about houseplants, I have so many videos that I've already posted, and make sure you subscribe because I'm always going to be posting new content. I post new videos on every single Wednesday, so I will see you guys next week. Bye.